Another transfer window, another Neymar saga. In this video, we are going to be talking about the latest regarding a potential transfer of Neymar to FC Barcelona, and then later in the video, we're also going to be discussing what it means for Deco to become the sporting director of FC Barcelona. It's a lot bigger than many of us are actually seeing it. It's huge news, and I'm going to be explaining why in this video. So if you guys want to skip through certain parts, you guys can. So on the timeline, you guys can go exactly where you guys want to go. Everything is going to be organized down below. Again, this is a very important one, a very important one, and especially with Deco. But in this video, we are going to be talking about Neymar first, and it says here that there is a low chance of a return for Neymar. It's not relevant right now, but someone powerful in the Barcelona board asked one of the people close to Neymar and PSG after Messi's decision to join Inter Miami to check with the French club about the possibility of a loan deal. There has also been people in the PSG club that have not ruled this move out because they are also very interested in players leaving, and one of them could be Neymar. Now, the source continues to say that Barcelona have other priorities, but there are some people in the management area who are not opposed to the idea of Neymar's return. First of all, the club will have to sell a number of players because of the financial fair play issue. There's also a person close to the management that has also said that the player is ready to take a significant cut, and because several years have passed since his departure, the league cannot examine his salary compared to the last time he was a Barcelona player. And as always, Barcelona and the people close to the player and PSG will try to make moves only if Barcelona sell some players first and complete the club's priorities, such as signing a pivot and other positions. This saga can very well repeat again. So it's fascinating, right, to hear another story about Neymar maybe going to FC Barcelona, but this time he could go on a loan move. So here is going to be the first thing I want to say. I feel like at PSG, they are going to be having a revolution in this summer. Like, gone are the days of having Kylian Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar as their front three. I think that a lot of things are going to be changing. Maybe they could build a project around Kylian Mbappe for the next season, or maybe Kylian Mbappe leaves in the summer like many were discussing, and PSG just have a completely different front three. Regardless, PSG are looking to restart their attack. They're looking to restart their midfield and also their defense. So expect a lot of noise coming from Paris. But going back to FC Barcelona, right, here's going to be the reason why I think that this move may not happen, and a lot of it has to do with Xavi Hernandez. Now you may ask, why wouldn't Xavi want Neymar? Well, I think it's because of two reasons, and these two reasons are going to be linking with one another, and you guys will know exactly what I mean. It is because of his character and because of the amount of injuries. Again, these two things do link with each other, and let me explain. Because of his character, right, this is a player that many of us do see on social media a lot, and he really does like going out, and you can just feel, right, the sensations of Neymar is that he's not 100% disciplined. Now you may say, Kevin, you're just, like you think this because right now Neymar is injured and that is why he has been everywhere. Well, that's exactly my point. If Neymar is injured and he's been out for the past 3 to 4 months, the only thing I want to see Neymar doing, if he were to ever post something on social media, is for him to be working at the gym, right? Ronaldo did that. Messi did that. I remember those two players and many other players, right? It's not just Messi, Ronaldo. Every time they got in a big injury, they were always in the gym, always on the training ground, looking to recover their level or even get even better by the time they do return. We saw that many times between Messi and Ronaldo, but with Neymar, it's just so much more different. Look at Lewandowski, right? At the age of just 34 years old, he rarely gets injured. Neymar at 31 gets injured every like 4 to 5 weeks, and you can just sense that he has not been taking care of himself very well. And when he's out there partying, doing a lot of things. This is something that Xavi Hernandez definitely does not want at FC Barcelona. Look at how Xavi does want Ansu Fati out in some way. Like, I know that Xavi has not said that I'm moving on away from Ansu and that Ansu should be leaving, but you can just already see, right, that even with Ansu encountering injuries, there's a big chance of him leaving and that Xavi Hernandez is looking somewhere else. Can you imagine how Xavi feels about Neymar? So Neymar went through 2 different injuries, an ankle surgery and an ankle injury. The ankle surgery that did take place on February 20th took him out until June 30th, meaning that he's going to be out for another like 6 to 7 days. But he missed a total of 15 games in the previous season. And then in the other season, which was the 2021-2022 season, he went through 5 different injuries. He had 2 fitness issues, an adductor problem, went through another adductor problem again, an ankle injury, another fitness issue, just many things. So you better bet that as a Barcelona coach, if you were to bring Neymar and have him scheduled to play 60 plus games every season, you would be very nervous. Like, can you imagine like just building a front three of Neymar, Vitor, and Dembele as our main front three, or maybe Neymar, Lewandowski, and Dembele, and you're planning all of these great things with Neymar, everything's working well, and then all of a sudden Neymar gets injured and now your plans are out the door and you're gonna have to like recover exactly what you have to do. Like, okay, like what's our next plan after Neymar? Who are we going to be placing in? So it's very alarming because again, with Neymar, Vitor, and Dembele, Dembele, you have that Brazilian connection between Vitor and Neymar. You have those pacey wingers with Dembele and Neymar. You have the goals coming through Neymar, Vitor, and Dembele. A lot of that can be deteriorated in just one game if Neymar were to ever be out, and then we find out that Neymar's out for about 2 or 3 months or more. And then later we could see like Neymar go on vacation and go somewhere else. And again, we just don't need that type of energy at Barcelona. Now, I'm not trying to downplay Neymar here. I'm not trying to say that Neymar is just all negative. He is all bad. I think that when he is 100% focused and only focused on football, he's a monster. Like in the season that we have just finished, with him encountering 2 injuries, missing a total of 15 games, he still scored 18 goals and provided 11 assists. So he was involved in a total of 35 goals with PSG. That is only 6 less goals than Lewandowski. And Lewandowski played like almost 900 more minutes than Neymar. So yes, like Neymar at Barcelona, if he's 100% focused, he would be a huge return of investment. But is he going to be 100% focused though? That is my question. Because the last thing that Barcelona need is a player that is very automatically entitled. As soon as they come in, they end up doing whatever they want, and there's no self-care coming from that player. And so I really don't know about this move here. I do agree with what Barcelona do have in mind right now, which is to sign a pivot and then sign maybe a right back or whoever else they want to sign in other positions, and make Neymar as the last priority if the financial fair play rules do permit it. Now, do I think that it's going to be having a huge effect on Ansu, right? If Neymar does come in, I don't think so. I think that if anything, it'll really affect Abde, and that is automatically going to make Barcelona sell Abde for like around 30 to 35 million euros. And then our options could be Ansu and Neymar rotating on the left wing, because we know that these two players need to be very well taken care of. And then our striker options being Vitor and Lewandowski, with our right wing options being Dembele, Rafinha, and maybe even throw in Lamine Yamal. So now I do want to move on towards the next conversation, and that is going to be about Deco. So Deco has announced that he will be closing his agency, which is D20 Sports, after 8 years of representing players like Rafinha and many other players. The next step coming from Deco is that he is going to be announced as the new Barcelona sporting director. Now, if you guys are wondering how is this going to work, because we're going to be having Mateo Alemán, he's not going to go to Aston Villa or anything, so how are they going to be sharing their roles? Well, it's going to be a duo, right? First of all, Deco is going to be the sporting director. I would say that Mateo Alemán will be the financial director. I'll just put it in that way. Like the Athletic wrote this down very well. They explained it like this: Deco is going to be the good cop and Mateo Alemán is going to be the bad cop. What does that mean? Deco is going to be the one finding and introducing players to FC Barcelona, so scouting for players, looking to see who fits our philosophy, and then introducing them to Mateo Alemán. Mateo Alemán is going to be what, again, the Athletic did say, the bad cop. He will be the one saying, okay, if this is the player that Barcelona needs, then fine, let's find the deal for this player and let's go talk with the clubs and let's see how we can get the best deal. He's the one in charge of all the financials and looking to just try and negotiate and get under the skin of other clubs and the agents. Now, of course, Deco can also help, but when you have Mateo Alemán taking care of all of the contracts and the negotiations, Deco can just focus on scouting for great players and seeing if they can fit the Barcelona philosophy. Now, with Jordi Cruyff, he is going to be stepping away. He's going to be leaving. I don't know if he's going to go to Ajax or United or wherever, but Jordi Cruyff will be leaving, and it's only going to be Deco and Mateo Alemán, with Joan Laporta having the final and very final say. But this is going to be the things that does get me the most excited, and I want you guys to listen very carefully. I'm going to be breaking this down into 2 different points. Point number 1, the fact that Deco is going to be the sporting director of Barcelona means that he is going to be introducing many Brazilian players to FC Barcelona. Now, you may say that Deco is Portuguese, Kevin. Like, what are you talking about? Like first of all, Deco was born in Brazil and he decided to represent Portugal. The other thing is that Portugal and Brazil are almost the exact same thing. So Deco is very much very connected to the Brazilian players. If you look at his agency, he had like a total of 10 to 11 Brazilian players, and one of them was Rafinha. And so the fact that Deco is coming in with all of these connections with the Brazilian players, maybe even Portugal, maybe even in Argentina, who knows who Deco was talking to, the fact that he's coming in here with all of these connections is big news, because Deco does have an eye for who is a great player or who is a bad player and we should ignore. Barcelona were trying to do this. Barcelona were trying to take advantage of the talent that Brazil was producing in the past 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 years, but they failed. They chose the wrong players. I don't know if you guys remember Andre Curry, who used to work at Barcelona but had no business working with Barcelona. He was bringing in the wrong Brazilian players. Does anyone remember Gustavo Maia? Does anyone remember Mateus Fernandes, who was supposed to be the next Sergio Busquets? Does anyone remember Douglas back in 2015? Does anyone remember Arthur Melo, who was supposed to be the next Xavi? Or Emerson Royal, who was supposed to be the next Dani Alves? Many of those were failures. and they were all coming from Brazil. Now Deco is going to be coming in, possibly doing the exact same work of Andre Curry, but he'll embrace us with new Brazilian talent and talent that works. And we're already starting off on a good foot this summer. Like, we're already seeing Vitor coming to Barcelona, and we know he will be the next big thing. There's also been talks about Vanderson, who is a right back, also coming from Brazil. He did play for Grêmio first, and right now he's playing for like some other club, I think is Monaco, but we'll talk about Vanderson in a separate video. But those are two Brazilians that Barcelona is currently looking at. So this is very exciting. Who knows what Deco has in store and what type of impact he'll have in this club. Like, there's a big reason on why Joan Laporta wanted Deco as a full-time sporting director for FC Barcelona, because he knows that this job is huge. He said this a couple of days ago to TV3. In case Deco becomes a Barcelona sporting director, he would have to leave his company and work with FC Barcelona full-time. I have already wanted to recruit Deco in the past, but it was not possible back then. But now, Joan Laporta, it is possible, and now you're making it happen. Now we have a real big-time sporting director, and I think that Deco is a massive hire. So now moving on towards point number 2 on why I think that this is like huge news. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I think that one of the ways Barcelona is going to try and combat with other clubs on competing for a specific player that has a lot of talent that could be coming from either foreign countries or in Spain or coming from Europe, wherever it may be, is for Joan Laporta to have great close connections with the agents. Joan Laporta is a master of having close connections with the agents, right? When you have something like that, you can be very persuasive. Look at how Joan Laporta has been in constant contact with Jorge Mendes. Look at how Joan Laporta hired a literal agent and made them into a sporting director at FC Barcelona, which is Deco. Joan Laporta right now is using Jorge Mendes as a way to get favors and great deals, which is why you see a lot of swap deals going on through the media and how we're hearing so many stories about this player coming into Barcelona and we just have to send one of our players to the other side. And so this move of Deco becoming the sporting director is very Joan Laporta-like. Also remember that Joan Laporta also had a very close relationship with Mino Raiola, who sadly passed away. Laporta has always been like this, and so this is why it's huge news. Laporta is going to be using the connections that Deco does have and bring it only to FC Barcelona. So we'll see again what happens in the summer and how Barcelona is going to be competing for the next few transfer windows. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.